So buying today's market, I really want to dispel the lie about what's going on, what interest rate is doing, and want to really give you guys confidence about that. But before I get started, I wanted to always let people know what's my mission, what's our core belief system. Our goal is when we meet every individual or family, we are committed to making them become financially better, become financially wealthy through real estate. So, and I really believe that because if you just look at in the US, the percentage of people that are doing well, the 1%, they talk about, I think the 16% of them, of the wealthy, they were born into it, right? You have uh, families, you have inheritance, or you're married into it, right? But there's the 86% that were mostly investors, and people invest their way into wealth in different level, right? First level is getting homes. The next level is doing commercials. But real estate is the core reason for 86% of US top millionaires. And that's our commitment to get everybody that we meet, to get them uh, in on that platform. So that's our core value. So buying today's market, don't believe the lie, because a lot of people are saying, oh, it's too expensive, rates are too high. And that's really a myth that we phantom in our head that is so. Yes, things have gone up, but they've gone up relative to what? 30 years ago, uh, the projected increase of homes in the US is about 4 to 6% every year. Uh, and if you look at a 30-year ladder, we just went a little over it now. But relative to anything else, if you're getting gas 30 years ago, you're getting gas for less than 99 cents. Today it's not, so everything is gone up in proportionate. And that's what real estate has done. Okay, so let's see. What I find out is for us to get from where we are to where we want to be, it's all in our mind. Our mind plays a pivotal role. You can see two kids, two children, and one says, I'm going to own the world. And they grow up to owning the world. And the other one says, I'm going to be an average Joe. And they grow up to being an average Joe. So what we say with our mouth really comes true for us. And as we grow up, the only way we can change that is to change the programming. So we call our mind our programming, what we've programmed ourselves to be. And how we program ourselves is based on what we know, what we've been taught, and what we've seen around us. So if you know your uncle, your mom, or your dad, this is certain way they think, right? You tend to think that way because that's what the information you've received. And if you know this is the way they behave in certain situations, you tend to go that way because that's what you've seen done before you. And because of that, that's how we feel about building wealth and having a better life. It's because of what we've seen around us, right? And when you feel like that, then you start acting the same way. And the only thing that will change is new information coming in and you receiving that new information. Our hands, when it's open, when it's closed, it's closed. When it's open, you can receive stuff. You can receive those new information coming your way. And when you now receive the new information, which is what we're trying to bring to you today, is give you those new information. Now you reprogram your mind and you start feeling a little bit different about yourself, about the world. I honestly, I have seen people say, I always tell people, even when you don't make much money, if you say something with your mouth, like, oh, I've had clients that come by me like, Gary, I don't make that much money, but I really want to get a home. I'm like, that's the start. And if you start with that, all of a sudden, I don't know, if you don't believe in God, I happen to believe in God. If it's the universe that you believe in, those things start cooperating with you, and then boom, stuff start happening. I mean, I know one lady, this is a great example. She was living really in a what we call a low life lifestyle. And she confessed that I'm going to do well. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to have my own home. Well, when you look at her income, I mean, I'm talking really bottom line income, I think like $2,000 a month. What are you going to buy with that? Nothing. Well, I told her, I said, you keep saying what you say, and I don't know how I don't know if I can do it, but something is going to happen for you. And I have over the years, maybe 2, 3 year period, I call her and asking for referrals and stuff like that. And she said, Gary, I'm still saying what you tell me to say. I'm still saying it. I'm still saying it. Well, guess what? She called me about maybe 9 months ago. Well, our grand uh, mother died and a home was left for her. The home was willed to her. And she did not expect that at all because she has a couple of kids that needs to be cared for, and the grandmother left a home for her. So, but you can say, oh yeah, that's because our grandmother, but no, it starts with a confession of her mouth where she started believing that I'm going to own a home. Now, again, you can look at her income and say, our income is not going to bring me home. But because our mindset changed, information, the universe, God, start cooperating with her, and it brought her to her destiny. So that's what we are here today to kind of let you guys know there is a lot about home ownership. Anybody can, if you desire to. So let's move on into knowledge is really power. Our goal is to give you knowledge and really uncover a lot of areas where people can get into a home, get into a second home, whatever it is they want to do. Okay. So once the knowledge comes, we have new programming, then we believe, and then we start saying, and then we start feeling, and then we start taking action towards that feeling, and new programming come into our mind, and then new opportunities come our way. So let's talk about what those opportunities can be today. Okay. So first, I want to kind of dispel the lies around home ownership. I don't care what market we are in, there is a lie that people tell themselves. And you can buy in this market. I need to wait, for the market to get better. There are no great deals to be had. I can afford to buy. I don't have enough savings. I don't have enough credit. I don't want the commitment of home purchase. These are all lies that we tell ourselves that impede us from greatness. And I want to, again, share with you that if you don't let it hold you up, you will get to whatever you want. Okay. Anybody have any comments around this? Don't forget, if when we're talking about this, we the more participant we're gonna have. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys about that. If you stay to the end, of course, we're gonna have a raffle, and we have a wheel of fortune that a raffle goes on. So we see people that's on Zoom. We have some people on Facebook Live. Even on Facebook Live, they can't really interact. I get it, but we'll still put their name on the Wheel of Fortune. And as many interaction as we have, we will put your name in there because you help us participate. Okay. So anybody have any comments regarding this lies around home ownership? Okay. All right. Let's move on. So getting offers accepted today, we always want to check the when a property is in the market, we always say the first 2 weeks is a hot week. If the property doesn't get an offer accepted in the first 2 weeks, you can now begin to negotiate. But if in the first week you went to the property in the open house and there's a whole lot of people, it means that property is probably going to go above the list price, and you want to make the right kind of offer for that. And so, again, if you see a lot of buyers, on the other hand, if it's the other way around, you go to the open house and it's only you, standing there, well, that's a property you can probably negotiate on. It's just the way our market is, right? And then you want to make the right offer appropriately. If it's 10 people in an open house and they list a house for $850, probably you don't want to put an $850 offer. You want to do a little bit above that. Or a lot above that. We just had a property that's listed for $850, and our client made an offer for $900,000, and we are not in the top three of the offers. On the other hand, another property was listed for $800. They had no offer, so we just put an $800,000 offer and got it in escrow. So it's just that. And then you'll look at contingency, how you want to keep it or not. So I really want to go beyond this and talk about the different kind of programs that's going to get one in. Of course, you want to get qualified so you know what you can compete in. Even when you're competing with all cash buyers, if you have your pre-approval in place, most lenders can be fast. If they've got you underwritten already, they can close you in 14 days, maybe 21 days. And you can compete with a cash buyer, based on that. They still cash buyers going out right now. I want to say that I listed a property in LA, and we had like 4 or 5 cash offers on the property. I mean, we priced it well because it needs a lot of work. But even so, it doesn't mean you cannot compete with those people. Of course, if you're doing a loan, you don't want to go buy a house that needs too much work. Then you may not, you can get stuck in that situation. So I kind of want to, let's move on this. Okay. Let's talk about the different programs. Wendy, I'm going to take this off. Can you share we're going to talk about the different programs that puts people in place, even in today's market. This is really, I want to uncover the inside part of where there's still opportunity for you to purchase into this world. There are still programs out there and I'm going to share with you guys the guidelines that most programs look at and what programs you can use to get into a property. First, we want to talk about can we share we're going to talk about down payment assistance program, okay? You have the CAL FHA. It's a really, really great program. It doesn't matter where you are. This is all of California. The state pays for your down payment through this program, and you don't pay that money back. It's second loan they give to you on the property, and you're not making payments on it. Now, if you sell your house in the future, they're gonna collect their money back, but that's great. It's basically giving you the down payment on the property, and this allows for income up to $182,000 If you're buying in LA County or Ventura County, if you're buying in Orange County, it goes up to about $192,000 of income, and you still qualify to get this money. This is a really, really great program for people, for especially young people that wants to buy and they don't have the savings. This program can even help you with them with the closing costs. Now, I don't recommend that because for them to give you the closing costs, they're gonna charge you higher rate. Uh, so I don't recommend that. I will say get your own closing costs or have the seller negotiate negotiate with the seller on some closing cost credit. So that way you only put minimum down. Really, with this program, you can buy a home like if you're renting a home. Because if you're gonna rent a home, you're gonna pay the first month deposit and the first month rent anyway. With a mortgage, you're gonna buy the property and you're gonna move into the property, and your first payment is generally not due until 30 to 45 days later. It actually saves you, from renting, and you own the place and you start building wealth on the place. So this is a really great program to consider. They don't minimize the number of people in the household, anything like that. It's anybody have any comments on it?
Well, I have comment on that, Jerry. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah. You said this program, if they give you the money that to pay down payments, did you pay interest with it?
No, it's called there are two different kind of interest. This is part I could have used a lender here. There's this pay, you don't pay, it's like a fixed interest. It's not like your mortgage interest. So if you buy a house and you take a loan for 800,000, right? You end up probably paying 1.6 million back on the house over the 30-year period, right? This one here is as a limited interest. So if they give you say on an $800,000 house, they give you 3.5%, which is going to be around $27,000. You pay $27,000, maybe $300 more. It's called simple interest. That's what I was looking for. Simple interest. That's all you pay back. And again, you have that for the life of the loan, or until you refinance and then you give them that money back. It's the state is investing in you, to get into a property. And with this program, one of the things they've changed, you need a minimum of 660 FICO score to get it and use it as an FHA purchase. Meaning as an FHA, and if you have a 700 FICO score, what they did for you is if you have a 660 FICO score, your ratios is going to be what they call your DTI is going to be 45%. So 45% of your gross goes into calculating what you qualify for. But if you have a 700 FICO score, they allow 50%. So that means you have a little more buying power with that. And of course, if you have 700 FICO score, you can buy something conventional. Because if you buy like a condo, a house that needs a little work, not a lot of work, FHA does require a lot of corrections. So you can still make an offer conventional with a 700 FICO score with this program. It's really, really beneficial for people. Any other questions on it?
Is it for only first buyer or second
Yes.
buyer can get it?
No, it's strictly only for first-time buyers. And
Okay.
first-time buyers is determined in the eyes of the state as somebody that haven't filed a 1098 statement in the last 3 years. What is a 1098 statement? That's a statement you get when you're paying mortgage interest on a property and you're filing on your taxes. Of course, you want to file on your taxes because they reduce your tax base. Yeah, but this is strictly for first-time buyer. They don't allow a co-buyer on this one. They don't, it's that's why it's strictly for first-time buyer. If you can't qualify by yourself and you need to bring a mom or dad or uncle or sister, whatever in there, they cannot own a home already. It's strictly for the first-time buyers only. All right. All right, so let's go to the next slide. This is another way of buying. Okay. I don't use this a lot because a lot of people I know don't generally qualify for it. I see a question. What if let me just address that question on the first one. What if your credit score is 624, lower than 700? Well, you cannot, to get any state program, you really need to have a 660 FICO score. I'm going to share with you guys a city program, but 624, that means you just need one thing to do, pay down a credit card and you probably go up, 40 points. So we can look at what's making your credit 624 and, and get it up pretty quick. Most of the state programs that require help from the state or the city, it requires a minimum 660 FICO score. All right. Okay. Is that the only question I need?
No. No. What if you're waiting for your score to go up more?
Okay. So there's something we call simulated credit. So a lender can pull your credit and simulate it and say, okay, if you pay this one down by $500, how much is it going to move you? And once they know that, they can issue you a pre-approval. Of course, you have to execute that before that time so that you can go looking for property. And if you execute what they tell you to do, your score will go to where it needs to be. And then by the time you go into escrow, you are right where you need to be. So that's something we can work with a lender to help you on. All right, so let's moving on to this NACA program. A lot of people call me up and say,
I typed a question in the chat. I'm asking if the loan that you were just describing, is that only for those that want to buy in California?
Yes, it is. It is a state aided program. Yes. If you move to Houston, anywhere else now. All right. So this NACA program, I get a lot of calls from it, and it's a great program. As you can see, you can buy the interest rate down. When they say lowest interest rate, it starts with a conventional interest rate, but you can use your money to buy down the rate to as low as you want. Of course, each point costs you about 1% of the loan, right? No down payment, no closing costs, no fees, and you don't have to have a perfect credit. You can have a 600 FICO score. But what makes people not qualify for this is based on your current rental. So let me give you guys a scenario. If you are renting a place for $3,000, right? You're renting a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, whatever it is, for $3,000, and you wanted to buy a $700,000 home. So they look at $700,000 home. That's going to be about $5,500 or whatever that payment is, right? Because your current rent that you've been renting for 5 years is $3,000. You need to show them that in the last 6 months you have been saving that $2,500 on your bank statement for the last 6 months. And that's where people run into qualifying, because they can show, oh yeah, last month I saved $3,000, but the month before I only saved $1,500, right? You don't qualify. You have to show them 6 months bank statement to show the difference that you're saving. And that's the catch-22 on this NACA program. If you're renting $5,000 and you want to go buy something that your payment is going to be $5,000, boom, you get approved like that. And you put $0 down and they can pay for your escrow fee and title fee. It's really great. Now, what other people are doing is, okay, I can show 6 months, that's why it can take 2 years for you to qualify, because they're gonna keep looking at your 6 month statement, 6 month statement. And if you miss it at one point, you don't get it. But what people are doing is they go buy an income property. So you go buy a fourplex. So if you're paying $3,000 on rental, and you go buy $1 million fourplex, and the rent on the 3 units is equal to what the mortgage would be plus your $3,000 in rent, you get it. So if you go buy $1 million property, and let's say your mortgage is going to be $8,000, you're paying $3,000 already. If the rent on the other 3 units is going to be the difference of $8,000 and $3,000, $5,000, you qualify, right? So that's the area of opportunity, but some people, it's not so easy to go from zero to becoming a landlord. You generally want to become an homeowner before you become a landlord, because a landlord does have its things that you have to learn to, especially if you're living in a complex. Everything that needs to be fixed is on you. So that's just the different, but this is a great program where you put no money down. And your credit does not matter. You can get in with 600 FICO score. Even they've approved people with you can't have all negatives, right? You gotta have some good trade lines in your credit, and they will assist you. The other program I want to uncover, let's go to the next one. Anybody have any question on this one, by the way?
Yes, I do. Hi, I'm Aurora.
Hi.
When you were talking about NACA and to buy down, you can buy down points. What did you mean by that?
Okay, so let's say you started with a 7% interest rate, right? So basically, if you have 35,000 saved that you have that you're gonna put down on the house, and then you go with this program, you can buy down the points. So at 7% interest rate, you can buy down, let's say you buy 1 point down to 6%, it's gonna cost you probably 1%, which is $7,000. And then if you buy another point, so you can be using your 3% down that you're gonna put down to buy the rate down 3 points. And whatever, the cost of buy down is different for each program. But I'm just gonna use that level and say, okay, if it's a $700,000 loan, 1 point is gonna be 7,000, 2 points is gonna be 14, 3 points is gonna be 21,000. So now you can buy down that rate so that your payment is affordable.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let's go to another one. So first of all, before I get into this one, I wanted to give you guys all an idea that in most banks, right? Most banks look at 2 years average in qualifying you. It's 2 years income average. So if let's say this is 2024, 2023, you made 150,000. But in 2022, you made 100,000. So what they're gonna do is add the 100 plus 150,000. They're gonna average it out. So now you're 125,000, and divide that by 12. That's what they're gonna give you for your monthly income. Even if you're making more in 2024, they always look at your 2-year average, and then that's what most of these Fannie Mae programs do. Now, I've also come across people that, okay, I was working part-time before, I was working whatever kind of job before, I went to college, I took a program, I earned a degree, I earned a certificate. Now I have this new job and I'm getting paid a whole lot more than what I used to get paid. And in this new job, I've only had a year of income, right? And the new job is your new line of income going forward, right? So now, in this last year, you made 200,000, but the year before you only make 70,000. And of course, we all live at the level where our income gets us to live, right? So now it's like, okay, how can I buy? Most with Fannie Mae, if you're going to use 1 year of W-2 income, you have to put 10% down and have over 700 FICO score. But there is a program and a bank that I usually recommend for people in this situation. It's called a community loan. It's a community, it's for first or second time buyer. You can actually use this program for your second house. And what they do is they only qualify you on your 1 year income, and your score needs to be just 660, just like any government assisted program. Now with this bank, if you buy something under 640, you can put as low as 3% down. Their rate is lower than market rate, and you pay no mortgage insurance. It's a really, really good program when it comes to that. Let me just give you guys a scenario. I'm helping a young couple that they were in the same scenario. They were doing, whatever kind of job before. And in this last year, they've merged into a career type of job, right? So if we look at their 2-year average, they're going to qualify for like a $400,000 home. But if we look at their last year income, they can qualify for a $700,000 home. So going to this program helped them to qualify for that. Not only that, they don't pay mortgage insurance. So let me kind of break it down for you guys. In a payment, your payment on a home is what we call PITI and MI. So P is principal, I is interest, T is taxes, and I is insurance. That's what you normally have. If whatever you're paying 3% down, 20% down, 40% down, you pay that. If you have less than 20% down on a property, you also pay what we call a mortgage insurance. It depends on the percentage of what you put down and where your FICO score is, that your mortgage insurance kind of is adjusted to that. But with this program, we're putting 3% or 5% down, you pay zero mortgage insurance. So it saves you a lot. And this is one of the reasons I don't want all the lenders to come, because if I have my lender partners come, they don't want to hear about this program, okay? Now, it takes a long time. People that have been on it, I've helped them through it. Your standard lender can do 21 days to 30 days. This takes sometimes 45 to 60 days to get approved because it's manual underwriting. They don't sell the loan in the open market. But I think it's very worthy of people, especially if you just have that 1 year of income. It can get you in right away. Oh, did we post that up? I'm sorry. Wendy, did you put it up, the East West Bank program? Okay, now go to the next one. Okay, all right. So this is it doesn't require a 2-year history. I don't know what to put up. Okay, all right. Go ahead and take that off. That's fine. All right. Anybody have any questions on this? Because we just dispel a lot of opportunities. And by the way, that community program can be used for a second home. We've used it to help a lot of people to buy that second home where you don't have that much cash expense for yourself. So it's a really that's another way to go. Now, other ways, there's still other ways on a standard loan that you can do, especially in today's market. If you have a house that's been in the market for a long time, there's something they call it either a 2-to-1 buy down or 3-to-1 buy down. So that would be for a limited time. Now, can I first share with you guys, I believe strongly, I don't get involved in politics with my business, But I believe regardless of who's gonna be in government, rates are gonna come down. And it's really trending down now. So I believe in the next year, we're gonna have a lower rate. So I always tell people, why do you buy now comparing to waiting for that lower rate to come? Well, it's very simple. If you buy a property now, even though you buy at a higher rate, now, again, if you look in the last 30 years, I remember when I first bought my first house in 97, my rate was 8.4 interest rate, right? And there've been some people that bought like in the late 70s, that was 16% interest rate. So, but if you look in the last 30 years, they've been up and down. Hopefully, we're not going to go back to like 16%. I think people would literally die from that at this point. But it's up and down, up and down. And the lowest we've experienced was maybe in the last 5 years, when it was in the threes. But that's not common. What's really common in average is about 6% interest rate, or a little bit below that. And I feel like we're gonna go back under it. Actually, right now, you're seeing a quote of under 6%. I see some new construction that has a 4.99 interest rate that is sent to me. So if you want to look for new construction, let me know. So it's going down already. So if you buy, but once it become officially down, there's just going to be a mass intro of people looking to buy homes at that point, either their second home or third home, whatever. They're going to all be vying at it. But what that generally means, the property value, which is kind of flat right now in most places, is going to go up. And so, I'm telling people, you can buy a house for $900,000 today at 7% interest rate. Tomorrow, rates go down to 5%, and the house is now worth $1.1 million. And where you already have 20% equity, you can refinance that same $900,000 home and be paying almost $1,500 less on it, because your value has gone up and then the rates has come down. Rather than waiting to that time and then everybody jumps into it, we'll still entertain people at that time because that's what we do, right? But I just want people to see that don't believe that you have to wait till that time before you make a move. Okay. All right. Any questions? Come on, don't forget, guys. The more questions we have, the more people that we put it into our raffle. So we want participation, because I believe everybody will have questions. Now, let me just be bold and ask for, I've never done this on this Zoom. I'm going to ask for referrals. Again, our goal is to help people to build wealth. So please, if you know anyone that's thinking of buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate, please give me a call. I'm in a competition. I want to win the competition really bad in my office. We got 400 agents in the office, so any referrals will help us to move further. Okay, all right. So in lieu of not having that, let me go through. I'm gonna share a mindset journey. Okay. Jesus. There you go. Thank God. I'm scared for a minute. But I'm here available for questions though. If anybody has any question, I can answer. Okay. So I'm so glad I brought this thing up. Okay, there's one more slide I want to show you guys so I can make sure I run through all the programs. There's another program that I haven't mentioned yet. And this is okay. So a couple of, we'll talk about the the Dream for All is no longer the Carla Fisher we'll talk about. The sensor track financing. Okay. This is another really good program. B of A has this program right now. We actually have a buyer in escrow that's taking advantage of it. This is a giveaway. Now, sensor track means you have to purchase a property in a neighborhood where the homeowners in that neighborhood, their income is low, lower than average. Okay, it's really tough. You have to give me an address and I pop it into the policy map and see if your address fits. With this program, you get BFA is giving you only need 3% down. It's a conventional loan. They give you 10,000 towards the down payment and 7,500 towards your closing costs. So you can buy up to really I believe $980,000 home. You get 10,000 towards the down payment, 7,500 towards the closing cost, and the rate is really, really good too. It's lower than market rate. But again, you have to buy in a. By the way, they are everywhere. You know, there is a sensor track in PV. There's a sensor track in Torrance. There's a sensor track almost all of LA. It's just weird. There are some addresses. I remember I saw the house on 5th Avenue, and just that street area is out of the sensor track. But the whole, almost the whole neighborhood is in the sensor track. So we have to put the address in and plug it in for you. So that's one. And the last one I want to talk about is a LIPA financing, or LIPA, or whatever you want to call it. This is it's low income. I don't know how you actually define the LIPA program. It's Los Angeles low income sustenance. Now, this is a great program. Now, it's a little more restrictive. I could show you guys, actually, let me do that. Let me share this. I'm going to show you guys real quickly the income level for that one. But you can get up to $160,000 down payment towards a home. And it's through the city of Los Angeles, and Los Angeles cover you know, Wilmington, San Pedro, Harbor City, all of San Fernando Valley, all of LA, you know, even Hollywood area. But it's, again, it's income restrictive. So let me just show you guys what those income. Oh, I'm always having a problem with this thing. Okay. I can answer questions while I'm pulling this up for you. Anybody have questions?
Yeah, sorry. What if you know, I hear some people will buy a first time home and then later they upgrade and they buy another home. What if you just buy a home and you want to stay in that particular house? You don't have to necessarily move to benefit from getting into that house, right? And like if you start building like equity, and I mean, like you don't necessarily have to move and go to another house, right?
No, you don't. You don't have to move, but you know, so obviously if you're buying a second house, right? Like, okay, you own a home, you're cool with it, but you want to increase your wealth. And let me just give you guys an idea of how you see that your wealth is improved by owning a home, right? You own a home, and okay, so this is the thing I wanted to share. Just 1 second, I'm sorry. Oh, Jesus, what did I do? So when you own a home and you move to another home, is for building your wealth. You don't have to move out of the home, but you do have to present to the bank that you're going to occupy. When you're an owner occupied, your rates are lower and the amount of money you need to bring to down payment is less. When you're an investor, even for a single family second home, you're gonna need to put 20% down. So that's the catch-22 that, okay, I've had people that want to buy a second home, but they love where they had, and they stay there, but we do have to present to the bank like you're gonna move into the new one, and then you have a choice of not moving in there if you don't want to. But that's the only way you can put like a 5% or 3.5% down for that other property. Okay, so I wanted to show you this table here. So with the city program, your income is restrictive, like I said, and the number of people in the household, and they really do confirm the number of people in the household. So a one-person household is 77,700. A two-person household is 88,800. You know, it goes on. Three-person is about almost 100,000. Four is 110. 120 for 5, 128 for 6, 137, all the way to 146. What this program does is you actually get $160,000 towards your purchase. So again, obviously, if your income is in this level, it's not that you're calling for the highest amount of purchase, but this can get you $850,000 property, right? And you get $160,000 towards that. So if you buy $850,000 property and 160 is covered for you in down payment, you're basically paying, I don't know, actually 690, loan amount. And if you have a higher FICO score, again, the program starts at 660. If you have a 700 FICO score, then you pay no mortgage insurance. You can even go beyond that, but I think they maximize your purchasing power at 850 or so. But this is a great program. Now, that 160,000, again, you're gonna give them their money back when you sell the house, but you can live in there for the next 30 years and not give anybody any money back. And then when you die or whatever, they will still collect their money back at whatever time the house is sold, okay? And they will get a share of your profit. So let's say you sell the house many years later and you make extra 500,000. You're gonna give them the percentage of the money they gave you towards the purchase back in profit. So let's say it's 20% of the purchase. So if you make 500,000, you're gonna return the 160 plus $100,000 back on the 500,000 profit. But again, you're not making payments on it, and it's a really good blessing. Again, our commitment is to help people to become more blessed. So I believe that's how we all grow as individuals and as families. Well, thank you all for coming. We are coming to the end unless we have any more questions I need to answer. Any questions? It's a good time. I don't want you guys to say, okay, Gary, later on.
You
What
said,
can I do?
Gary, you said something about the new constructions are better in interest rates.
Some new construction have it's like their own individual bank that's financing it, right? I see a lot of them have promotions, not all of them, some, so it's just specifically where you're moving to. I see some in the Inland Empire, I see some in Santa Clarita that send me where they're doing like 4.9 interest rate on some of their models. So yeah, if you're interested in new construction, we can look at that and we'll see which one has a special promoting program that one can use, yes.
Okay.
Any other person? So Wendy, don't forget, everybody that's asking questions, you're doubling their name up on the raffle, okay? So.
Yes.
All right, well, I'm hoping you guys got something from this. Don't believe the lie that something is not possible, it's too expensive, I can't make any move, you gotta live your life at the fullest. And no, I really believe in investing in real estate. You know, whether it's your first home or second home, how can you do that? You know, there are always avenues when you're looking to do it. And you know, one of my commitment is to find every resources to help people in achieving their dreams. And I really believe you're gonna get stronger, wealthier, better as you do more of this. You know, sometimes you have to sell a home. I just sold one of my homes to a vendor. I'm actually doing some. Let me not talk about that. Okay, but you know, you gotta sell one sometimes to find something better. You know, look for other opportunities. One of the best thing, I had a friend of mine told me, like, hey Gary, you have these homes you know, in this other area, they're not moving well there. Why don't you move it to an area, an urban area where you can get more out of it? And that was one of the best moves I made. So I'm here to encourage you all. All right, let's go into the raffle. If you have no more questions, we're gonna get
There's
back.
another question here, Gary.
Okay.
S-
Uh,
Said, hi, Gary. So can I purchase land with any of these programs that you mentioned in LA County?
no. A land is really a land contract. Um, you can't even get financing most of the time for land. You buy the land cash and then or you get a private loan and buy the land. And by the way, construction on a land is not the easiest thing to do. You're better off constructing on a house that's in a land that you're going to tear down and rebuild, because a land, you have no utilities there. So you have to force for you to get construction loan, you have to have I have a friend of mine that bought a nice piece of land in Agora Hills, and he just shared all the hell him and his wife went through to build this dream home they wanted to build. They couldn't get a loan in the beginning because, you know, you have to create a foundation. You have to pay for your own utilities, create the foundation, have a frame before the bank will issue you a loan. So it's much easier. I know a lot of people think, oh, you know, if I just go buy land, I can build on it. And number one, you're doing what they call a custom built home. When you buy a home, most homes are in a track where a developer comes, build 20, 100 homes in that track, right? So they're buying a lot of supplies for it. So when you're building one specifically, now it's a custom build. You're buying individual items that you need for it. That's why it's so much more costly to do that than when you're buying into a track where, you know, the parts are bought wholesale than you that's buying it everything retail. So it can cost you 3 times as much building a 2,000 square foot home, custom built, than building in a track. Any other questions?
Yes. There's another question here. How can I invest? Because I'm interested.
Give me a call, please. I love to talk to people like you when you're interested. Again, like I said in the beginning, it's a mindset. Once we make up our mind and determine we want to do something, I believe in God. I know we're in you know, and we're in a town where people don't, you know, talk about kind of stuff like that anymore. But I believe in God. If you believe in the universe, even the universe will cooperate with you. And I believe we are one of those hands that will be delivered to you to give you direction and find resources to make you invest. One of my joys in life, I had a young lady. I'm gonna just end up with a story. I had a young lady came to my office like, I don't know, about 12 years ago. And she's like, Gary, I don't make much money, but I want to own 2 homes, not just one. I want you to know right from the beginning, I want 2 homes. I'm like, okay, all right. And she was working for, I believe, Albertson at that time, and really didn't make that much. And we set up a plan, and today she has those 2 homes, making like 40 something $1,000. And this lady right now is probably worth close to $1 million in equity wealth. That is phenomenal. That's phenomenal. And you know, she came through a friend of hers that we moved from living in a car with our 2 kids to owning a home, and that one too is sitting on $500,000 of wealth today, from living in a car. I just love those stories. Whatever it is, where you are and you desire to get up, we want to partner with you to get there. And you know, like even the person that told me like, I'm going to keep saying it, and then God brought it to her because she was saying it. You know, if she wasn't opening her mouth to say, I'm going to own a home someday, I'm going to own a home someday. And I'm like, okay, keep saying it. You know, every time I call, I get energy from talking to this lady, you know, sometimes myself, because I just love our energy. Like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And you know, it happened. It happened. So sometimes it's not the conventional way, it's a different way. It can happen. So thank you all for coming. We really appreciate the involvement. Let's go to the raffle.